It's crazy. Now this is really creepy. Take a closer look. This guy's some ghost families. Yo, shit. Yo, this these girls look they're changing into some what are these things? Shapeshifters. What do you think they are? It's getting more creepy. Keep it tuned. What do you think those things were? Put
Your web
there for
traffic
comment
is not as
section.
private as you think. And if you care about protecting your privacy online, you need to know about this special type of digital footprint. People think that using a VPN will protect their internet traffic from people on their network, their internet service provider, or their government, but that's not true. And the reason for that is something called website traffic fingerprinting. Every website is different in terms of the number of requests you send and receive from it, the frequency at which that happens, and the size of those requests. So for instance, when I go to Wikipedia, I'm monitoring the network, I get these requests. They happen in a specific order and they're different sizes and everything. Versus, let's say I load up Google, everything's way different. VPNs hide where your traffic is going and they encrypt it, but they don't do a lot to change the number of requests you're sending, the size, or the duration. So it's always been possible, even when someone's using a VPN, to use this method of looking at their traffic fingerprint to figure out what they're doing and where they're going. But now AI has allowed this to happen automatically, and a lot of programs have come out that are really, really accurate at determining what someone's doing, even if their traffic is encrypted using a VPN. If you're really worried about this, even though this attack could be used to help someone figure out if you are using Tor, your traffic through Tor would still be secure. So just another reason to learn how to set that up.
I will start with the issue of powers, where
This
the
is in
commissioner
Congo.
asked about the voodoo, or what kind of powers are being used in these churches. There are different kinds of powers. In this book, The Church Mafia, I speak about how I traveled. I did not go only to Nigeria. I also went to Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, where I was initiated and I saw what is called Mamba Muntu. That is a half crocodile and a half human being. And I saw it with my eyes. I was not drunk. I was not under any influence. I saw it, it came. We went to the river during the night. It was a full moon. The light that was there was from the moon. As we went in that river, in an island called Kongolo, in DRC, an island called Kongolo. And when we went there, the man who was going to initiate me, they spoke French there. So the one who was interpreting for me is the one who took me there. So we went into the water and they did some incantation. And after doing some incantation, this being, it came as you were in the water, you are able to see during the night. It's quiet. You are able to see some movement from a distance. The water was just splashing. There was a sound and it took my concentration. I saw it was coming. I did not know what it was, but they told me that they are going to call their god, which is half human being and half crocodile. This thing came with a very powerful speed. You know, if a person is swimming as a human being, you are able to know this one is a human being by the speed. But this one, it was an extreme speed. It was coming and it came behind me at my back. It held me here. I'm talking something that I saw it. Now, I could sense that it was big, and the cloth and the hand that touched me here, it was not of a human being. It baptized me, as in putting me in the water, and after that it gave me something like an egg, because I could not look at it because I was afraid. It gave me something like an egg, then I had to swallow the egg with the shell. Then from then, the man did some incantation, then it went away. The way it was breathing, I could tell it is not a human being. As they gave me the description, they said it's a half human being and a half crocodile. And the hand, I could see this one, it was more of a lizard with nails. Now, after that episode, I had the encounter where I dreamt, it was a vision, this one, where I dreamt being underwater and being given instruction. So there is a physical manifestation that is also connected to dreams. So when a person has dreams, they are connected to the physical manifestation. So coming back to the question of power, as I've said, these church leaders, Commissioner Langa,
This is scary and really and still fun in some ways.
they acquire
but
different
let's
kinds
keep
of power.
listening.
The voodoo power, it's one of the powers. And that is the reason why these days, in most of these mega churches, on their pulpits, you find that they call it decoration, but it's not decoration. They put fruit. You know, when you worship voodoo, you can do your own research. They put fruits on the particular gods. Where the god is, there must be those fruits as a sign of a sacrifice. So on this pulpit, they are very beautiful, but they are surrounded with fruits. So that is a sign to show and say, on that pulpit, it is an altar of a voodoo. Because fruits in the church has nothing to do with the church. So those fruits, they are a sign that we have sacrificed, we are giving you these fruits. And after the service, they can say, everyone come and pick up the apples. And people, they will go and pick up those apples. They start to eat. But they don't know that those fruits there, they've been sacrificed to the god, which is voodoo. And it does not end there. Others, they even go to an extent of using what we call marine spirits, which is called the water spirit. Water spirits has a background where you can trace it also in the Bible. It comes a long way. Now, this water spirit, number one, the church where your church is, it must be next to the water. There must be a river next to the water where you are able to take people for what we call baptism. But this is not the same baptism that Jesus encountered. This is a baptism into an occult. It's more of initiation. So they use the water or the river that is next to the water, or they can even have a swimming pool in the church. If they have a swimming pool in the church, all members will have to vie through that water. If they don't have a swimming pool in the church, they can make a service, a special service where the pastor will say, I'm coming to wash your feet. Out of the blue, the pastor says, God spoke to me that I can wash your feet. And every member in the church will take off their shoes, because this is a marine kingdom that wants to influence the church. So every member of the church has to vie through that particular water. So the pastor will come and wash you. He will take his time. He's a busy man, but he has to make sure that he does that by himself with his own hands. He'll bath your feet. That is what we call the marine powers. In other instances, they use what they call do as I say.
Do you believe this?
In my instance, they gave me a small horn. It was called Ashe. It's a Nigerian name. It's called Ashe. Now, with that horn that they gave me, they said before I could talk, I have to wrap that particular muti on my tongue before I go to the pulpit. So they collect a lot of powers. Others, they even bury live cows, live animals in the church, so that their church can remain as powerful as they want it to be.
Well, I've had a lot of stories that guy was saying and creepy things. And have you believed them? You can say up in the comment section what you think about his story, especially about fruits. Hey, let's keep
Glory
watching.
be to God. There's over 200 of these trees
This is
of
it
life that
now.
literally touch the top of the firmament. They're not volcanoes. This isn't my first rodeo. They have a root system. They aren't trees that would look like that. These are on a whole nother level. And yes, there's a root system underneath the devil's tower. Tower 2 Wars, Magdala, woman of Magdala. So again, this is not my first rodeo. I don't want to hear how they took samples from the devil's tower. It's rock. Dude, it's called petrified. They got scared, turned into stone. It's not stone, it's petrified wood. Knock on wood, Hollywood, Woden's Day. It doesn't matter what culture. Like I said, there was over 200 trees. So this is where you get Christmas. This is where they're cutting down the trees of life from. Abracadabra, the 3 Abrahamic religions. This is what I say is ice. It's the top of the pyramid. They had pyramids which came after these because they needed these. 30% more oxygen. Ox, it's bull. Genesis. Created genetics, what a gene is. Genies. So, all around the world. There's one place in particular called Seratana. It's very interesting. But nevertheless, we're going to go over some more pictures. The movie Up, this is where they did Angel Falls, Paradise Falls. It's from a real place. It's laser harnessed sun energy beyond your guys' depths of comprehension. This has nothing to do about a big axe. These are giants, the jinn. So, let's take a couple more ganders, and then we'll get into it. Okay? Flat all the way around. It's not like a big mountain or a big rock. Like, I've heard so many theories, they're funny to me. And you guys might think, well, this is just a theory too. Look, whatever. This isn't my first rodeo. I must have said that 3 times by now because it isn't. And I've heard so many theories. I don't argue with people who live in a firmament to become firmer men. It's a firmer mind, a firmament. I know these words. I know where we come from. Don't be dumb. Don't be dome. A dome. Okay? It's Ganesha. This is Genesis. Okay? 6 protons, neutrons, electrons. So, root systems all around because they were trees of life. They're giants, physical giants that got petrified and physically cut down. This is physical, father sickle, whether sick or ill. Okay? Grim Reaper, you reap what you sow. It's Grim Reaper, has a scythe, the Seth, it's god of chaos in Egypt. Santa, Satan Claus, friend of the Claustrum. This is ho, ho, ho. They're pharmacist tools. Harm or assist you. From Pharmakeia, heal or hell. So the trees kept you in full alkalinity, in alignment, elach in mint mind.
Stay woke.